Today, I'm going to show you how to set up, rotate, and adjust an hdrI in Blender the right way. This is one of the fastest ways to get realistic lighting, reflections, and a more professional look for your scene without having to build complicated lights from scratch. If this video helps, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more Blender tutorials. All right, let's jump in. First, open Blender and go to the World Properties tab. You'll know it by the red globe icon. This is where Blender controls the environment lighting for your entire scene. Under Color, click the small yellow dot next to it and choose Environment Texture. Now, this part is important. Do not choose Image Texture. Image Texture is not meant to wrap around the whole scene correctly for hdrI lighting, so make sure you select Environment Texture instead. Once that is set, click Open and locate your hdrI file. You'll usually be working with a .hdr or .exr file. Select the file and load it into Blender. At this point, your scene may already start to pick up the hdrI lighting, but it can be hard to see clearly in the default viewport mode. To preview the effect properly, switch to Rendered View. You can do that by pressing Z and moving your mouse up to the Rendered option. Once you're in Rendered View, you'll start seeing the hdrI actually lighting the scene. This is the best way to judge how it looks, because Solid View and Material Preview will not always show the final result accurately. Now let's rotate the hdrI. For that, go to the Shader Editor. In the top left corner of the Shader Editor, change the dropdown from Object to World. This switches the editor to the World shader, which is exactly what we need. Now select the Environment Texture node and press Ctrl+T. This works only if Node Wrangler is enabled, but it is a very useful add-on and worth having on. Pressing Ctrl+T automatically adds a texture coordinate node and a mapping node for you. This is the key step for rotating the hdrI. In the mapping node, adjust the Z rotation value. Changing this value spins the environment around your scene by 360 degrees. That means you can decide where the main light source or the sunspot in the hdrI hits your model. If the shadows are falling in the wrong direction or the highlight is not in the right place, just rotate the hdrI until it feels natural. If you want the most reliable wraparound effect, make sure you use the generated output from the texture coordinate node into the mapping node. This usually gives you the best result for environment lighting because it maps the hdrI properly around the scene. Next, let's adjust the brightness. You can do this in two places depending on your setup. You can increase or decrease the strength value in the World Properties tab or adjust the background node in the Shader Editor. If your scene feels too dark, raise the strength. If it feels too blown out or too harsh, lower it until the lighting looks balanced and clean. Now for a really useful option, making the background transparent. This is great when you want the hdrI to light your model and create reflections, but you do not want the actual hdrI image visible in the final render. To do that, go to the Render Properties tab, which has the camera icon. Open the Film section and check Transparent. Once this is enabled, Blender keeps the hdrI lighting and reflections, but removes the visible background so you can composite your object over anything you want later. So to quickly recap, the workflow is simple. Go to World Properties, choose Environment Texture, load your hdrI file, switch to Rendered View, open the Shader Editor in World Mode, use Ctrl+T to add the coordinate and mapping nodes, rotate the hdrI with the Z rotation, adjust brightness with strength, and enable Film Transparent if you want a clean background. That's the fastest way to set up and control an hdrI in Blender. Once you get used to it, you'll be able to completely change the mood of your scene in just a few clicks. If this tutorial helped, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more Blender tips and beginner-friendly workflows. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.